This video will acquaint you with the structure of your course inside of MyMathLab. So when you enter MyMathLab, you most likely come here to the course homepage, which may look something like this. Now there are some ways that we can change the look of this course homepage. For instance, we could view it by a month or the week only, but by default it should open here at 2 weeks, a 2-week chunk of time. Notice that there is an important announcement from Pearson itself about how to run a browser check. This is really important that you do this here at the beginning of the course, and then from there on, always keep your web browser up to date. You can also see any current assignments listed below, and that list will continue there. You could change the course to look at the entire course to date as well. So there are a few options here about how you can see the course homepage when you enter the course. From here, I'm going to point out a few tabs in particular that are very important. So up next is the EText. And when you click on EText, it will open in a new window and look like this. And at this point, you can click on this Table of Contents tab. And from here, you can look at any particular chapter or section number. So for instance, I'm going to look at section 3B. And I'm going to just close that Table of Contents tab so I can see this a little bit larger. And this gets you directly to section 3B so that you can read through the section before you start looking at the assignment. To note, here are some of these icons that look like little web browser icons. What these are videos linked directly in your eText. So if you click on these, and this is a video just as a quick overview about this section, and then as you scroll through, you may see additional videos. Like for instance, this one is an example you can try that's similar, and here's another video that explains this example from the text. So there's lots of interaction even within this, what at first glance looks like just another digital document. So I encourage you to take advantage of those things through the eText. Next, I'm going to skip down to assignments, and this is probably where you're going to spend, other than the eText, quite a bit of time. You'll spend time here in the assignments. Make sure that in the drop-down menus, that each time you look here that you're clicking all assignments, not just the homework or not just the quizzes and tests, which actually we don't have quizzes, we just have tests. And make sure that you've got all chapters selected. And then here you can see when your assignments are due, and they're arranged by due date. Next is the grade book. Of course, nothing's going to show up here, but it will populate as you go. The next thing I want to skip down to is the Multimedia Library. And this is a way to access all of the resources within a particular section. So you could change this to chapter 3 and then look at all of the resources in section 3B and then select all the resources, find now, and when you scroll down, you see here this is a link directly to the text. Here's a PowerPoint if you'd like to use that to kind of help you go through some more additional examples, and all of the examples from the text that are in a video form. So I encourage you to use that as well. There's one more resource that's related to MyMathLab. I've got them listed here as well, called requested videos. There are a total of, 47 videos here in this playlist. But in this playlist, they're just all the videos from all the sections together. If you want to see them organized by chapter, come back to our Moodle course. And as you complete assignments, or as new weeks open, you'll see additional tabs appear over here. And for instance, after you complete the enrollment verification quiz, you'll see a Chapter 2 Resources tab. When you click on that, this is a video from me just explaining the quick overview of Chapter 2, like what's the most important things to pay attention to. And then below that is a YouTube playlist of videos that I've created for students at their request on particular problems that they had in my math lab. So you can see this entire playlist if you click those 3 bars here at the top. They are organized by chapter, section, and my math lab number. So this first video is chapter 2, section C, and that's not necessarily number 18 in the problem because my math lab is, it auto generates these questions, so it might show up on your My Math Lab like it's question number 4, for instance. But you will see that heading at the top of your assignment. Or better yet, you could come here and look at all of the problems, let's say from section 2C. Here's another one from 2C. And then here's one more from 2C. So then you could just kind of get a feel for what are the most asked about questions from that particular section as you work on sections in the assignments. If you have questions, what I want you to do is when you come back here and you're in an assignment, let me open up this assignment. Let's say I'm going to do 2C. First of all, one thing that I've done a little differently for just these first few assignments is I've added a link to the text itself. Just click on it. It takes you there. It gets you a point as well, but it gives you a chance to read it through that that link. And then there's also the video on the overview of this chapter. Click it, watch it. Again, you get a point towards that assignment. But I'm going to click on a question and notice that it pops up in a new tab. And here, if I have a question about this question, what I can do is click on Help Me Solve This. That's one option. Help Me Solve This will solve this problem for me, this particular problem for me, but I can't get credit for it that way. So what it will do is give me a chance to do a similar problem next. So it's not, you can still use this, but just know that you'll have to redo the problem. No big deal. My math lab has an infinite number of problems. Or you could click on View an Example. When you click on View an Example, it shows you a very similar example. And when you press Continue, you can go through step by step. You can even print this once you've got, press Continue all the way until it stops. Because there's several steps here. You could print that out if you want to see it in front of you in printed form. And then there's Get More Help. So Get More Help takes you to a related video, the related textbook. You don't have to worry much about StatCrunch. That's another type of calculator that we don't need or use for this course. But this one on Ask My Instructor is one that I highly encourage you to do. So here you can see we're actually in question number 1, but you'll see that this is problem 2C.7. Okay, it's going to send me that message so I can see exactly where you are in the problem if you've done parts A and B, but you're stuck on part C. I will be able to see that information. I will be able to see the exact same numbers that you're using. So when you have questions about problems in your assignments, please use this resource, Ask My Instructor. It'll send me an email. You could type in a quick message here. It could say something like, I want to know how to do this on my TI-34 calculator, or I want to know how to do this in Desmos, or I just need to see how to do this. I can get part A, but I can't get part B. Any detail that you can provide here will help me out. Send that email, and I respond within 24 hours if it's a business day. Okay, so when the college is open. All right, so that's all of the resources that I have here that, again, I wanted to point out for you inside my math lab. As you have additional questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. We can either meet virtually, we can schedule a time to meet on campus, or we can talk through email.